pages about the Hillary Clinton email investigation the FBI released on Friday. Quote, Clinton did not recall receiving any emails she thought should not be on an unclassified system. That despite the fact some of those emails discussed possible future drone strikes against suspected terrorists. Here's another one. Clinton, quote, could not recall any briefing or training by state related to the retention of federal records or handling classified information. To the Clinton campaign, the documents support the decision by the FBI not to seek criminal charges. Donald Trump, though, says Clinton answers, quote, defy belief. After reading these documents, Mr. Trump said in a statement Friday, I really don't understand how she was able to get away from prosecution. This is going to come up in that debate 3 weeks from tomorrow. But it is striking. Dan, you and I have covered the Clintons for a long time. She says she's the detail person. She says, sometimes, forgive me, I'm a nerd, I'm a policy wonk, I like to get into the detail. Bill Clinton would meet somebody he hadn't seen in 20 years and remember what the guy was eating when he last saw him. And yet you read through this 39 times in a 3-hour interview. She said, I do not recall, I do not recall, I do not recall.
Well, the other thing we know about the Clintons is that they've been through many investigations, many scandals, and many situations in which a smart lawyer will say to a client, you know, you don't have to answer that fully, and if you don't recall, you don't recall. And so she went through that process with them, and there's a lot in that, as you say, in which she has an incomplete memory. I think that, you know, the bottom line on this is that people will take away from it what they already brought to this issue of the emails. People have strong views about this, and they're not good for Hillary Clinton. I don't think this is going to significantly change that.
You make a key point. It's not significantly change that. So if you think she's dishonest, if you think she's untrustworthy, the cement hardens. And if you're for her, you just sort of roll your eyes and say, well, I got to deal with this.
But I do think a lot of the different discussions we've had about email and pay for play, and, you know, we get further in the weeds, it gets a little bit difficult to digest, and, you know, you come away with the notion that she's untrustworthy, but it's a really specific example that you get coming out of these reports to say Hillary Clinton was emailing about a covert drone strike operation. Everyone knows this is a covert program. So to be able to take an example like that onto the debate stage, or even as a debate moderator, and say, this is something that's really easy for everyone who's watching at home to understand. Hillary Clinton was emailing about drone strikes and didn't think that was a problem to do from an insecure server. I think that there is a little bit more potency in that than we've seen from some of the other things that we've learned about her emails that have been a little harder to understand.
And there's a difference between, there's a difference between something that's not criminal and something that's still unacceptable to people. Right. I think that's what these emails or these transcripts highlight, is that maybe there was nothing criminal in there. They couldn't levy charges against her, but there was still quite a bit that was unacceptable and surprising and shocking to a lot of voters. I think this will matter because it really, I think, for people, it sort of defies their common sense test, and that's a problem.
And this is also a fantastic issue for Donald Trump. He's someone who has trouble staying on message, but the one message he's really been able to alight on is Hillary Clinton being dishonest, being untrustworthy, playing by a different set of rules. And every time there is a new sort of drip, drip, drip out of this genre, he will hammer it from the campaign trail. And it's sort of the one thing that can really focus him in a way that's compelling to voters.